Good afternoon and welcome to Eat, Smoke, Drink. Today I am reviewing something close to my heart. Actually, I'm reviewing the Longrow limited edition 14-year-old sherry cask. Now, Longrow is a Springbank whiskey, just a heavily peated version of Springbank whiskey. Springbank, I'm going to be heavily biased with Springbank. The worst Springbank I've ever had was still freaking exceptional. Springbank changed my whiskey palate. Springbank makes such grunty, full of character, old-fashioned, old-styled whiskey, and I love it. From what I've gathered as well, they still do a lot of floor malting. They make relatively small batches. For example, this one here is like it's 9,000 bottles per run. So, it sounds like a lot, 9,000 bottles, right? But when you look at other whiskey companies, especially when you walk through duty free, they make hundreds of thousands per run. So these guys here are still owned by the same family, and they make small batch whiskey. This is the peated version sherry cask. Very exciting. Now, my usual, 3 drops of water, no water. Let's get nosing. But look, before I do that, I want you to just look at that color. Just look at that color. Look how deep and rich that color is. I mean, that's just a ridiculous color. I mean, yeah, it's just so that whatever barrel that put that in was so active, that color was just there. So let's get nosing. Oh, wow. So from the get-go, flint, fireworks. And I'm not talking fireworks figuratively. I'm talking gunpowder, fireworks, flint. I'm getting a metallic minerality, and you might think, oh, that's a bit weird. It is, but that's the beauty of Springbank. They've got that character. I can smell that peat, but it's not your typical Isla peat. It's not as oily. It's not as heavy, but what I'm getting in there is, look, it's wet leather. Wet leather and old leather, damp, firewood, campfire smoke. I'm getting a bit of damp house, a bit of damp warehouse in there, like a firewood shed, in the winter when it's a little bit damp and a warm winter day, but it's a little bit damp. A little fungal. Oh, it's got a funk to it. It's a hell of a funk to it. And that's the Springbank Longrow trait. It's that little bit of funk in there, because another fact about Springbank is that they store their barrels in dunnage warehousing, right? Dunnage warehousing, 3 levels, 3 layers of barrels, and it's usually relatively open. It's not hermetically sealed. Earthen floors, stone, a lot of wood, and it's just you get this flavor infused in the barrels and the whiskey. I mean, that's just, like, on a smell, actually, it's quite polarizing. And if you've had Century Egg before, that methane smell from Century Egg, you get that in the back end. Not so much, not as strong as Century Egg, but you get that little bit of back end. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I love the smell. I'm getting slight fruit, raisins. I'm getting cinnamon, fruit cake is coming through, orange marmalade. The nose is extremely complex. Let's try it. So with a few drops of water, that flint, that gunpowder, that metallic, minerally note subsides straight away. Amazing difference. A lot more fruit comes out, a lot more raisin comes out, a lot more spice, that cinnamon comes out. A creaminess as well, a slight creaminess in the smell. Put my finger on it. But the main difference between the two is that flintiness subsides. A little bit of smoky comes through more, but not negligible, just a little bit. I think maybe it might be my imagination actually. But the flint, the smoke, the firewood, the fireworks and the flint definitely subsides with this. So let's give it a taste. Now, just to give you a bit of context, 57.8%. 57.8%. That's how a bottle of whiskey should be. Wow. That is oily. That is super oily. Super oily. Sweet. No floral notes to it. It's a sweet spice. It's a sweet spice. This is dessert in a bottle. Nothing savory about it, except for a little bit of saline, but how you have that salted caramel, but a little bit of salinity, but not too much. I'm getting thick raisin syrup. I don't know what sherry cask they use. Forgive me. It doesn't quite say exactly what sherry cask they used. You know, if it's a Padron Jimenez, it probably isn't, because otherwise I'd tell you about it, but it's a syrupy sweet. Spice, cinnamon, nutmeg. Brown sugar, caramel, toffee, but with a waft of smoke and leathery. It's damp wood, a bit of leaf litter in there, organic matter. Oh, I'm getting that now, the methane in my nose. Like, well, not methane, but you know, like the smell of kind of that damp leaf litter. And I'm getting a bit of tannin in there as well, like a black tea. I'm getting a bit of tannin in there. That is a fantastic dram. Without water, that is a fantastic dram. It is a little bit robust. It's got a kick to it without water, but you can still taste stuff, which is good. Some you know, some whiskeys you just don't taste stuff anymore, and this one you do. I mean, I'm still tasting the spice, the sweetness, the fruit cake, the dessert nature of it. This would go exceptionally well with a sticker date pudding. Exceptionally well. Let's try it with water. So with the water, the flint goes a little bit out of there. You know, I'm still smelling that dunnage, the dunnage note. I love the dunnage note. It's like a damp, dank warehouse cellar smell. I love that smell. Slightly fungal with the moss. I'm just imagining moss around me, stones with moss. With the water, with the water, the alcohol subsides a lot, and I'm getting a lot more tannin with the water, like a double bag tea, you know, which if you've never had, you should, because sometimes one tea bag is not enough, you know, and I'm getting a little bit more spice in there. I'm getting orange marmalade. I'm getting orange marmalade. I'm getting, oh wow. So the nose, the flint is gone, but with water, the flint is strong with the taste. Oh, I'm getting a very robust dunnage note with the water. A bit more sweetness, more tannin bitterness, but that's a good bitterness. And actually with the water it becomes more complex. I'm going to put my hand up right now. I'm going to say, go hit the water. A little bit of water on this will give you a little bit more complexity and opens up the whiskey. Doesn't always happen, but in this case, more water is better for this particular one. This is an exceptional dram. I would say the value for money for this is this is probably US dollars, about $100 US. It is absolutely exceptional. I can't, you know, and I'm biased because I love Springbank, but this is exceptional. There has been a Springbanks that I haven't liked. The Bourbon Barrel 14-year-old was a no-go for me. It was still good, but it wasn't, you know, anything compared to the other stuff. But this is exceptional. It is absolutely amazing. So I would say if you can find one, grab it. Just grab it right now. Cigar pairings for this. That'll be a tough one. It is quite sweet in nature, but it's not overwhelming in flavor. I'd say a Cuban would be nice for this. A Bolivar maybe. A Trinidad would be quite good for this. A Padron would be nice for this, a non-Cuban Padron. I'd say maybe a Maduro, Anejo, Arturo Fuente would be quite good as well, because of the, I think it'll be quite balanced actually. It's quite sweet, and then you get something quite robust. I think that'll be quite good. I think this is quite versatile. I don't think there's a limitation to what kind of cigars you can have with it. I'd be happy to have any cigar with this, actually, to be completely frank. So I think go nuts. I think this will accompany most cigars quite well. That's another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink, and thank you for joining me today. If you like what you're seeing, please hit subscribe. And thank you very much for joining me. And if you've got any questions about the Longrows, let me know. If you've got a question about floor malting, let me know as well. Or dunnage warehousing, let me know as well. Floor malting, I love floor malted whiskey. But look, it's not the be all end all, but yeah. See you guys until next time.